Hello everyone, welcome to .NET Training Academy. In this video, we are going to take a look at how to upload files in Firebase using ASP.NET Core. Without wasting time, let's get started to code. I already created an application and I just added some CSS over here, which will be available in the description, as well as I just added some Vue. The thing that we have to do is to create a Vue model, like file upload Vue model, and inside of that, the very first thing that I'm going to add iForm file, which is used to upload files in ASP.NET Core, and it's going to be the file. And well, I think that's enough. The next thing is I'm going to go to the controller. So after creating this Vue model, the second thing is I'm going to go to the Firebase to create now we need to go to the Firebase to create a project. So here I'm going to select the existing project, and let's just add that project. Okay, let's configure everything over here from the Firebase. So for that, we have to go to the controller, and I'm going to create 4 fields for that. One is going to be so first we configure Firebase. For that, I'm going to create private static string API key, which is equal to, and then the next thing is I'm also going to create private static string app bucket, so which is also available in our first Firebase project, as well as static string email authentication. So we haven't created any users yet, so we have to do that. We are going to do that, and our password. Just for the authentication purpose, we are doing this thing. So we just declared all our variables, and we have to fill this out. So for that, first thing is API key. Let's go to the project settings and copy this web API key and paste it over here, and then go to the storage, get started, and click yes, and click done. It will create our default bucket for us, and in that bucket it will generate a URL, and we have to paste it over here. So once it's created, it will generate a URL, and you have to copy that URL and paste it over here, and then go to the authentication, set up sign-in method, edit over here, and click enable for authentication, and save. Go to users, add users. So in this case, .NET Training Academy @gmail.com. The password is going to be test123, and then we have to type that same .NET Training. Let's copy this one and just paste it over here, and type the password, which is going to be test123. So that's it. We successfully configured all our database configurations, and we have to make use of this configuration to upload the file. Okay, and let's create a post method like HTTP post, because we are going to post the file from the HTML form to the cloud server, which means the Firebase. So I'm going to create private action result. Instead, we are going to pass this asynchronously, so we have to use async and task, which is going to be action result. And I'm just going to name this thing as index, because I'm not going to create a new view for that, because I already applied some styles and HTML things in the index view. So here I need to pass that view model, which is going to be file upload new model in file. So let's return a bad request method over here. That's it. First we create a variable like file upload, which is equal to file dot file. And then if file upload is not file upload.pn is greater than 0, which means the file size is greater than 0, then we have to do something over here, which is basically going to upload the file to Firebase. Okay, fine. So the next thing is we need to create a folder which is called images folder over here, just to push the files to the server. Not only we are going to push the server to the cloud Firebase, as well as we are going to push that through the ASP.NET server as well. So let's create a folder name right here like that, and folder name is going to be the Firebase files. And then let's create a string path, which is equal to path.combine, and here we need to make use of this server environment, which means the ASP.NET Core server environment. For that, we need to create an iHosting environment just to interact with the server files. Private read-only iHosting environment underscore env. Okay, let's just import this guy right here. And this is basically using dependency injection, so we need to initialize this thing. Underscore env, which is equal to env. And now let's just combine that path. Whereas underscore env dot web root path, which is this guy right here, and put comma. And here we have to make use of combining two paths. One is going to be web root, and another one is going to be the images underscore images slash the folder name. So images slash folder name. So yeah, everything is perfect. So next we need to make use of the file stream and path dot combine this path with the file upload dot file name, and then which is basically going to file mode dot open. So in short, we are basically we have to use the new keyword over here. Basically, this file stream class is used to read or write data to a file with the help of stream reader or stream writer class. So this is very helpful for the Firebase extension, for the Firebase library to stream the files for uploading into the server and into the cloud. So that's it. We just completed the .NET Core part, and now we have to install the Firebase storage thing. So that's it. We just completed stuffs for now, and now we have to install the NuGet package. For that, install package Firebase storage .NET-pre. Click enter. We're also going to install package Firebase Authentication.NET, because not only we are just uploading the file, we are also uploading the file with authentication. So we need to make use of that authentication library as well. So now it's time for Firebase uploading steps. Yeah, that's it. And now let's take a look at the first thing that we need to create an auth variable to initialize the Firebase auth provider. Let's just import that thing. New Firebase config, and inside of this instance we have to pass the API key. So let's just pass that guy, and then we have to sign in. So for that, use the await, because it is an asynchronous method. It's auth dot sign in with email and password. So auth email and auth password. And you can also make use of that thing from a form file or something like that. But here I just put upon custom, just like a variables. And now we have to create a cancellation token, because it helps us to cancel the upload at the midway. So we just need to create an instance for that. Cancellation, which is equal to new cancellation token source. Now it's time for uploading the file to Firebase. This is the actual code which helps us to upload. So upload is equal to new Firebase storage. Let's just import this library and open it up. And the first parameter is going to be the bucket, because if you see over here inside of the Firebase storage, we are having the parameters like stored by a storage bucket, and the next parameter is something like the options, which is the collection of values that we have to insert. So let's just first add the bucket variable. So if you see over here, let's just check for the spelling. Yeah, it's perfectly all right. Yeah, and the next thing is we have to create a new Firebase options. Let's just open it up, and auth token factory, which is equal to lambda expression and task dot from result a dot Firebase token. So throw on cancel is equal to true. So basically what it means when you cancel the upload, the exception will be thrown. By default, there is no exception in thrown. So next thing, we have to also add the child element, whereas we have to create a folder for that, like assets kind of things, and also we need to add the child. And in this thing, we have to upload the file name, the actual file name, whereas file upload dot file name. And now we have to also need to pass the extension. So for that, I'm also going to paste the thing which is path dot get extension for that path dot get extension of file upload dot extension dot file name dot substring of 1. So I think yes, that's enough. And finally, we have to push this thing. So use put async method to we have to use the put async method to stream the files to the cloud. Basically, it supports all kind of stream, like file stream as well as the memory stream. So in this case, we are going to use the file stream. So for that, we have to pass the fs method, fs variable. So and then we also need to pass the cancellation token, whether the file upload is cancelled at the midway. So that's it, and let's just check that out and make use of this try and catch exceptions ex, and let's make use of it. View back dot link, which is equal to await dot task. I'm sorry, await upload, and debug dot writeLine as x. Well, ex. Okay, so that's it. That's it for here, and also we have to pass the return OK. So everything is done from the controller part. Now we have to concentrate on the index and in the view part. First, let's just create an ID for this file upload. Okay, so now let's create a section script at section scripts. So just to upload the files using the jQuery Ajax. So let's create a script tag over here. Let's just maximize this guy and concentrate on the code. $document So here I just added some CSS for animation after the upload is succeeded. So let's just take a quick look at the script which we have written. And this is the part of a script which is used to read the file, which means to read the particular uploaded file. So basically this is used over here at the method of read URL. So once it is read as an input, it is able to append, it is able to return the image after it uploaded, which means it will be helpful for preview purpose of what is the image that you're going to upload, kind of things. So for that, you have to do is to create an image with this particular ID. If you do so means, then you can get the preview of your uploading image. So then what I'm going to do is what I've done is just created an Ajax request, which is a post method request to the home/index controller. And the data is basically from the form data which I'm collecting over here. And then once it is done, I'm going to call the success function. And after that, it is going to append the HTML, which means this kind of alert box, bootstrapped alert box inside of this notification. So that is what I'm doing in jQuery. And let's just recap these things. But here, there is some bit of code is not presented over here. But before going through that, we just run this application to get more details about this. So for that, I'm going to click F5 or, okay, here's that. Before that, I'm going to open up the Firebase itself. So console. So here's our project. I'll just open it up. And here in the storage, we have to check whether the file is uploaded or not. So now currently there is no files over here. So let's choose a file. So basically, if we right click this guy, go to the network and press Ctrl R, and let's just click it again. It's saying that successfully uploaded, but we went to the network and check it over. It is posted, and it will be something like 200, which means the status okay, it's successfully uploaded, kind of things. But when we come here, let's check that out over here. Okay, the problem is I need to put this method as public so that it is able to accessible at anywhere. So I have to change that to public. Let's run this stuff again. So let's just right click and inspect element, go to network, control R. So let's again check the stuff out. Go over here, select any image, and here it is throwing an error, which means 500. Basically, it is a 500 error. So let's learn how to post a data or send a data to the server and how things work behind the scenes now. So basically, we have three things. One is our local server, which is our system. And basically, our system uses IIS server. And the next thing is the file that we are going to upload. And finally, the cloud Firebase. So these are the three things that we are going to handle right now. So basically, we are going to upload the file to the server initially. Okay, so for that, we are going to upload the file using the file stream API, which is provided by the Microsoft.NET, and it is sent to the server. So for that, we need to create a resource. We need to create a location inside the server. So that's what we have to do. So we have to create a folder inside the server so that we can push that file to the server. And after we completed doing that, from that particular server location, we have to stream that file and send it to the cloud server using Firebase Storage API. So Firebase Storage API basically supports many types of stream like memory stream, file stream, but in this particular case, we are going to use the file stream. So this is the scenario that we are going to work along, and this is how the process is done. So let's just stop this application. But now, if you see, you can now recognize, I'm going to keep the debugging thing over here so that you can understand what's going on. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to select any image. So it just came inside. And the very first line, we are just initializing this variable with that particular file instance, form file instance. And then if the file upload length is greater than 0, which means in this case, it has a file which its length is about 1,70,000, something like that. So if we get inside, it's trying to create a folder name, which is the variable, basic variable. And second line, what it is doing is it's just combining the path of this env webroot, which means our server webroot path with this particular folder name. But actually, if you notice over here, it is not at all creating a folder, because if you see over here, you didn't have a folder like Firebase files over here. So in the file stream, we have just started to stream this particular bytes of data. See, this stream in this path. So here too, you're also just creating an open, but you're not creating any folders or some kind of things over there, right? So that's the issue over here. So if we click again, it will directly comes out of that method, because if you closely see that thing, and let's check that out by trying to put a try catch over here. So if you put something like try and exception as cut this and paste it over here, now you can figure out what is the actual exception it is raising, so that now you can understand how things works. So let's just run this application again. Okay, let's just choose the file, and it comes inside, step out, step out, step out, step in. And if you go with the try catch over here, you can see that there is null, because you need some file path over here for streaming, right? So you are not having anything. So the case is, you see and go and see this particular exception could not find a part of a path, because it hasn't created any folder like Firebase file. You can also recognize this thing over here, right? So first thing that we need to do is to create a folder path. So let's do that. So let's create an if condition. If directory dot exists, whereas the path, if so, means what we have to do is we need to copy and paste this thing, right? If the directories already exist, means we have to go over here and just read that particular file. If it is not, we have to go to the else part, whereas we have to create directory.create directory of that particular path. Okay. Okay. Now let's just try to do this thing, right? So let's go over here, debug it. Let's just run this application, and it will check, and it will come over here, and it will check the stuff over here. When it checks that, it will if the path is not available, so it directly goes to the else path. So whereas it will create the directory over here, right? So that's it. So now if we go over here, you can see that folder is created, right? So that's fantastic. So now we have completed this particular thing, and so now we just created the folder. So the second thing that we need to do is to push that file to the server. So let's do that. Copy this guy right here, paste over here, and create, and then finally file upload. It could be something like await file upload dot copy to async, whereas it's going to be the fs. Okay, now let's just check this stuff. Okay, take any file and push this thing. It is created. The directory exists. When it's checking, yes, it is exist, so it will get inside of this condition, and then it will create over here, which is the file stream API. And here in this particular line, it will copy this particular file to this particular folder. So now, if you see over here, you can have a Firebase files, and inside of that you can have that file. Okay, so in this try block, what we are doing is we are getting that file. I mean, we are just reading that file. So this file stream started to stream that file, and inside of this thing, you can see that it has the length and particular the file path, and all of these things available over here. And down below over here in the put async folder or put async method, we are just passing this file. So basically this file, let's check that out. Okay, let's come to the thing, and here it will directly comes to the exception. It is not actually getting into the try, so it is throwing some exception. So it's getting to the expression. So we don't need to check for the try catch right now, so that it will let. Okay, instead of doing something like this, what we can do is make use of this using and cut this piece of line over here, because you cannot do both because it is messing around with the create and open kind of operations. So we can do that in the particular using section. So, and over here, yeah, this will be fine. So let's just run this stuff again. Okay, now you see here, you're having that particular file, right? So this is the to exception, which is very default. You don't need to worry about that. So now what happens here is we can open up the Firebase, and go to our project, go to storage, and now let's check the things. So okay, now let's go. It's checking for the API key. Yes, we provided the API key, and it is signing in with the email and the password which we have provided, and it is available over here. And we are just raising a cancellation token to cancel this upload at any section of the midway. So also we are going to upload this thing in the bucket, and we are also having this download link over here. And yes, it is completely fine. So let's just reload this Firebase just to check whether it is uploaded correctly. Yes, you're having this. So if you look over here, you're having the folder called assets, and inside of that particular child, you're having the file upload file name extension. So get inside of this, and here it is, new service png.png. Oops, there's something silly happened over here. We don't need to. I think we don't need to provide this extension. Okay, fine, that's fine. So you can just remove this thing. But this is the actual file, which is about 1.14 MB in size. So click this to view, and here it is. So this is the poster from my company, and this is the file which is uploaded. So this is it. This is how you can upload a file, not only the images, any kind of files you can upload to the Firebase using ASP.NET Core. To be simple, the steps are very clear. We are grabbing the file using this file stream API and pushing it to our local server. From that local server, we are pushing that to the Firebase. That's the base concept. So if you like this video, please like, share, and if you want more video like this, because I'm going to make use of Firebase Cloud Storage with .NET Core, Blazor, SignalR, those kind of things in the future videos. So please do subscribe and share my channel. That's it.